Welcome to episode 1 of Let's Talk Ring of Honor. I am your girl Al, and we are going to talk about everything that went down on the latest episode of Ring of Honor, exclusively on Honor Club. Let's get right into it. It is episode 35 of Ring of Honor, and we open up with an Angelico promo who talks about how good of friends he is with Eddie Kingston. But sometimes you gotta keep your friends in check. And after what he did to Serpentico, he's really upset. He's worked up. He's like, whoop, I gotta calm down, bring myself down. We gotta get those positive vibes back. And then he's like, LFG, Eddie, let's go. And we go right into our episode. Speaking of Angelico, Metalik, the first match of the night. Such a great match. These two watch it well. Obviously, Angelico has that lucha style training in Mexico. Commentary mentions that. It's so good. Metalik, amazing. Get outside, off the ropes, king of the ropes, Metalik. Great back and forth between the two of them. The commentary, obviously, with Angelico going for the championship, they want to, talk about him. We're going after him and saying, if Angelico becomes champion, that's more opportunities than Eddie Kingston being champion. Eddie Kingston, certain people feel they are on that level, but Angelico, everyone's on that level. He's kind of like the every wrestler, I guess you would say. Whereas Eddie is intimidating a whole nother level. So, it's true. Like, I think some people see that in Angelico, but he's clearly climbing this ladder in Ring of Honor, doing a great job. Came out of nowhere, but also like pretty good. And that's the thing about Ring of Honor is it could be anyone challenging for a title, and they all are deserving, and you get the spotlight that you don't always see on other shows and everything. So love to see it. This match was crazy good, but Angelico wins via submission. After that incredible match between Angelico and Metalik, we are backstage with Lexi, my girl Lexi, backstage with Kyle Fletcher, and she, tells him, she asks him, he's faced the best recently, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson. What's next? What are we doing? And he's like, I learned from myself that, I'm 24 and I'm great, and I don't know what quite is next, but the next time I'm in the ring with either of those two, I'm going to beat them. It's going to be a different story. Right after we hear from Kyle Fletcher, we are back in the ring, back in the arena, and we are treated to see the infantry faces the debuting Hughes brothers, Terrell and Terrence. Actually, Devon Dudley's twin sons. So amazing. We love that. A quick match, but very hard hitting. Those Hughes brothers were out to prove a point that we are not just Nepo babies. We are here. We deserve to be in the ring. And they looked pretty well, but the infantry, as we know, is a well-oiled machine. Those are my boys. Love them. Love to see it. But a quick but effective match. It's always fun to see the infantry and Trish Adora out there. Love them. But this was fun. I mean, they came in hot, those Hughes brothers, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to save them. But maybe we'll see him again. Who knows? Oh boy. Things get a little interesting here. Things are picking up over in this side. We hear from Maria, who's talking to Lexi about her baby boys, Griff Garrison and Cole Carter. She says they picked up a win last week, and they're finally starting to get on the same page. They want those tag team titles. That's what's next for them. She's proud of them, She says Mama's proud of her baby boys. And before we can get any more out of Maria, Leyla walks up, Leyla Hirsch, who's, we've seen Maria keep an eye on her, but Leyla hasn't wanted it. But she says, you're probably really happy that I lost last week against Athena. And Maria is like, no, it's cool, whatever. But Layla's like, I needed this. I needed to have that match to see, to remember who I am and what I am about. And she's like, you know what, Maria? I'm gonna rethink this. I've been kind of rude to you, and I wasn't really open to the idea of working with you, but I'm open to it now." And Maria's like, "Well, okay, but everyone has a past, everyone has struggles. What makes you different? You gotta prove to me now that like why should I get your help? Like you gotta earn it." Very interesting to see from our first lady. We'll see where this goes. Our next match, my boy Dalton Castle versus another one of my favorites, Anthony Henry of the Workhorsemen. Going into some singles action. What a like, what a fun time! It's always a fun time to see my boy Dalton Castle. We get the boys, we get the whole thing, we get a full spin from the cameraman who gets a good footwork from Dalton. Well, nice to see that. Shout out to my boys Ian and Caprice, the best commentary team, in my opinion. Um, Ian mentions the pageantry of Dalton and his package, and Caprice is a little taken back by that, but not the last we're gonna get of these interesting statements. But moving on to the match, Anthony doesn't adhere to the code of honor. He's real, he's getting real spicy with Dalton. He's not here for it. Um, Dalton and the boys do a fun little lap around the ring to hype themselves up. We are seeing a little bit of not commentary also mentioned not quite an unhinged Dalton, but Dalton's going through a lot. He feels he should be television champion. He should be in this discussion. He is perfect for television. And I mean, where's the lie? So he's a little lost, I guess we should say, right now. So he's a little not in the right headspace, but he is still going, making him more intense. This match was so good. Uh, so great. But Anthony Henry is so aggressive in this match. Like I said, he's mocking Dalton. We get this crazy kick on the outside. It was a lot. So good. Some more outside interference and action, but it wasn't enough. Dalton goes for the bangerang, but he gets a counter. That slam by Anthony Henry. Oh my god, that was crazy. But it wasn't enough. Dalton hits him with the German suplex from the ropes into the bangerang. 1, 2, 3. We are back on a roll. My boy Dalton is ready. We are here. Commentary mentions, I think after next week, Samoa Joe will be longest reigning TV champion or close to it, something like that. So we are getting close to final battle time. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Dalton back in this, but he wants it. This is where we're going, I assume. We are backstage with Lexi, Smart, Mark Sterling, Tony Nese, and Josh Woods. Lexi says, things aren't looking so good after Tony Nese's loss last week on Battle of the Belts. Smart Mark wants to hear none of it. He's like, we are talking about Ring of Honor. We are the best. We're moving forward. Blah, blah, blah. In comes Ethan Page, who has his little business card he got last week, and is like, I have been calling every night and I just keep getting a machine. And I just wanted to talk about these training services you told me about last week. And Smart Mark's like, well, we do this in order of importance. And so Ethan Page does a little spin and says, well, there's no one in line. And then Tony Nese gets in his face about, I'm done with you. I already beat you. And Ethan Page is like, well, did you do that legit? Did you do it? Did you follow the rules? And Josh Wood steps to him and is like, oh, you want to talk about rules? And then Smart Mark gets an idea. He's like, it sounds like you want to fight Josh. And then Ethan's like, well, if that's what you heard, that's what you heard. So we're going to see Ethan Page versus Josh Woods because clearly these three aren't done with each other. And Smart Mark hiding behind Lexi, not cool. Not cool, dude. Oh boy. After we hear from them, we move on to a tornado tag match. Diamante and Mercedes Martinez versus Athena and her minion in training, Billie Starkz. It starts off real hot for Athena and Billie. We're on the outside. We're getting crazy. Billie is so proud of herself. She just wants Athena's praise. She just wants to hear that she's doing a good job. And we all know, we've been seeing these minion in training videos, that Athena's not impressed with Billie, and Billie's just trying so hard. Billie is basically the star of this match. She's carrying it. She's keeping Athena from getting pinned. Um, their tag work is really good, though. Also, before that, though, their entrance a little shaky. You know, their entrance really does her usual entrance and it kind of trips Athena up, but you know what? It's fine. Things happen. We're not quite in the flow yet, but in the ring, the flow is getting better. You know, we're getting really great double teams. We're getting very, we're getting in sync. Billie's trying, and she's like I said, she saved her. We get this great combo spear in the corner from both of them. Um, we get a whoop that trick chant. And again, Ian, my favorite commentary team. Ian is so wholesome talking about this. Like Caprice is like, I thought you couldn't say that. And he says, well, if it's not directed at a person, I can say it. Like I said, they work so well together, but Mercedes and Diamante have been teaming longer. They are really on fire right now. They do get the upper hand, which unfortunately they they get the upper hand on Billie with the double power bomb in the corner. Athena tries, but she's already been knocked out. She tries to get back in the ring, but they get the 1, 2, 3. Diamante and Mercedes win. Athena is not happy. This is her first loss in Ring of Honor. Her singles record is still intact, but her tag match now has an asterisk, and she knows this means she has to fight Mercedes for the title now. You know, that she knows what the implications were of this, and she's not happy, but who knows? Well, we're gonna get more into this in a second, a little bit later on in the show, but these four just aside, like the women's division in Ring of Honor is killing it. There's time, there's story, there's just consistency, and it's slept on. Like Athena is the best champion right now. I've said it before, said it again, I'll say it again. She's the best champion. That's happened this entire year. Her reign is impeccable. She just keeps growing and building and adding this Billie storyline and taking her under her wing and Lexi. It's so good. Diamante and Mercedes, amazing together, like just perfect. But yeah, if you haven't watched this, just go back and watch what's going on, guys, because this is 10 out of 10 for the women's division. Moving on, we have Kyle Fletcher versus Willie Mack. There's really not much to say about this match because it was just so good. Like, both of these guys are amazing and talented, and kind of what I was saying with the women's division earlier, the thing about Ring of Honor that I love is there's no squash matches. I mean, it's very rare. It's not like everyone is gonna have the time. You're gonna see a little bit from everybody in the match. Willie Mack killing it. So good to see him, shine. Kyle Fletcher killing it. One of the best. Like, this was just a great, solid, strong match from both of them. And I don't know, like, there's not much to say. It's just great wrestling. This is what you want to see. They meshed well. Like, can you get a bad match from either of them? I don't think so. But Kyle picks up the win. Surprise, surprise. We'll see. we'll see what's happening here. This was hard to watch. Okay. We see Lexi and Billie, and we have a minion empowerment meeting. So that's what it stands for, if I remember. And Lexi's like, this isn't good. This doesn't feel right. And poor Billie feels really bad. You can tell about their loss. She knows what this means. Athena storms in and berates poor Billie and says this is all her fault and that they lost and now she has to defend her title and that she's looking out for her, and if Athena wasn't in Billie's life, she would be over on Collision and Rampage and Dynamite, losing, being the 18-year-old prodigy, uh, and that she's trying to build her up. But poor Billie. Athena just goes after her, unleashes all this wrath on her, leaves, and Lexi just consoles a crying Billie. This was just it's so sad. It's a lot. We'll see what happens next week, I guess. It's okay, Billie. You're gonna get through this. I hope so. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Whew. All right, we go a lot of emotions here on Ring of Honor. We go from that to a 4-corner survival match. Slim J, Gringo Loco, Blake Christian, and Gravity. Commentary mentions the return of Slim J. What are we doing? Just as a genuine question, what are we doing with Slim J? Is there still a Trustbusters? I don't really. He's still doing the tank top thing. I don't really know what's happening, but this match was fire. Everyone killed it. It was exactly what you would think of when you see these 4 names, Gravity, Gringo Loco. You're just gonna high fly and craziness. So fun. This is just like, I don't understand how any of these guys do any of these things. It was great. It was fun. Everyone looked so great. Everyone's flying around. Gravity being Gravity. We love a spacewalk from Gravity. Everyone was just everywhere, like I said. Gravity picks up the win though. He gets the win, and we love to see it. And this is just a great. I don't know. Just it's a fun match. Check it out if you want to feel good and see some fun stuff. Next up, we got Leyla Hirsch in action against Nyx. Nyx tries. She looks great. Love the fit. Love it. Love to see it. She really tries. But Leyla, Layla's too much for her. We get a little bit, but it's not a lot. Leyla, taps her out. 1, 2, 3. We taps her out, and here we are. She picks up a win, hopefully to impress Maria to get into that army now that she's open to it. So we'll see if Maria saw this match and if she's open to the idea of working with Leyla again. Well, who knows? Moving on, we got Darius Martin versus Lee Moriarty with Shane Taylor. He is now part of Shane Taylor Promotions. Again, I'm not. You can't say anything about the wrestling in Ring of Honor. Everything is just great. Everyone is an amazing wrestler, and you have 2 of the best right here in Darius and Lee, and so good. They work so well together. We got Shane on the outside, though. We got to keep an eye on him because he's intimidating. I'm scared of him. Respect, like in a respectful way, like I know he could harm me. Speaking of Shane on the outside, we get a ref distraction. Shane knocks out Darius, and Lee submits him, and he keeps him in the submission. Shane gets a chair and is about to knock him out when, of course, Darius's partner, Action Andretti, who was not cleared to wrestle from the attacks from Miro on Collision, he comes out with, swinging on his own and clears the ring. You know, they want, I, I assume they want Darius in Shane Taylor Promotions. They see a lot. They're scouting. I'm sure they're always scouting. Shane's always scouting. He's a businessman. Um, these four are gonna have issues. Eh, it's a lot for action. He's got Miro to look at. He's got for Shane Taylor. I'm real worried about action right now. Maybe he's bit off more than he can chew. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We have Robin Renegade, one half of the Renegades, versus Rachel Ellering. This was a great match. We've seen both of them before. Commentary is like putting over Rachel, saying, she's the one who's went the longest in Athena's open challenges. She went 8 minutes, I believe, some minutes. She went, over 8 minutes, the longest in the challenge. Her lineage, all of that we already know. And then we get Robin, who's very intense. We've seen these renegades before, and they are very intense and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Go ahead. If that works for you, go ahead. Who am I to tell the renegades anything? Not me. Couldn't be me. Robin at one point has her fingers in the mouth of Rachel, and then the fingers go into her mouth. It's very gross. Stop doing that. Just please. Just we're still in a pandemic. It's fall. Cooties are rampant. I wouldn't do that. But Rachel picks up the win after she moves while Robin attempts to hit a moonsault and wins with the Boss Lady Slam. Is that what I think I wrote that down? 1, 2, 3. Like I said, she wins. Love to see it. And we are here at our main event. We made it. It's going to be a triple threat tag team match. Gates of Agony, Iron Savages, and Maria's baby boys, Griff Garrison and Cole Carter. This was just fun. I love Iron Savages. I don't care. I think they're ridiculous, silly. And we do see a little bit towards the end, though, Gates of Agony. We get a little Iron Savages, not quite a miscommunication, but we distractions of some sort, and then Gates of Agony come in through the end. They get on poor Griff and Cole, who try. They are trying. You can tell that their tag team is growing and building, and they're growing in their confidence together. They're trusting each other a little bit more. Griff wanted to be the good guy. He's like, this is Ring of Honor. Let's do it. Now he's kind of like, all right, I see the ways. Maria's right. Cole is there. So we'll see how this. They're starting to get it, but they can't beat the Gates of Agony. Like, who can't? Well, we know who can, but not very many people can beat Gates of Agony, and poor Griff and Cole weren't going to be the ones. Iron Savage just got out real early, and we've moved on. They did call out. They said, they did mention those tag team championships, so we'll see. We'll see if MJF's pretty distracted right now, but I would like to see a real tag team with those titles, but that's just me. That was it. That was episode 35 of Ring of Honor. That's our first episode of Let's Talk Ring of Honor. I have been Al. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, please. We'll do this every week. If there's anybody you want to come on and talk about Ring of Honor, put them here too. I don't know. I'm open to anything. Please do not forget to follow us everywhere at AlYaPod. You could follow me right here at AlYa, 2 underscores. And we will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.